Well, this past Sunday we talked from James chapter 1 about the importance of obedience, how to catch God's Word, and how that is really identified by hearing and doing. But one question I think that we need to answer is this: why does obedience matter so much, or why is it so important? And I think Jesus answered this in a very unique parable in which he described a man who built his house on the rock and a man who built his house on the sand. And if you look at that parable, they're uniquely similar. It's one parable but two accounts, and they're uniquely similar except for one aspect. And that is the man that withstood the storms is the man who built his house on the rock, and that is compared or analogous to the man who did what Jesus said. The man who built his house on the sand, which was destroyed and did not last, is analogous or compared to the man who did not do what Jesus said. Now watch this. Often folks want to preach that passage and say that the rock is Jesus, and perhaps I get what they're saying there, but to be most textually accurate, in that parable, Jesus is actually saying the rock is obedience. The only difference in the two houses is that the one on the rock is compared to the one who did what Jesus said, who obeyed. The one on the sand is compared to the one who did not do what Jesus said, who did not obey. And so I just want to make sure that we understand together, obedience matters. It is very important because it forms the foundation for your life. It's what kind of lays the concrete. It forms the structure upon which a solid life is built. So I just want to urge you again today not to underestimate the value of doing what you hear. Obedience matters greatly because it forms the foundation of a solid, godly life.